Good evening. My name is Catherine. And if you have not seen my previous videos, we always try to go over a specific documentary or a specific personality and to review the mind and the way that person was acting or act and what could have triggered that specific action. Today, I want to review one of the most horrible crimes that was committed on August 13th of 2018 by Chris Watts. Let me see if I can share my screen so we can show you who I'm talking about. Let me see here. Okay. Okay, let's go here. So you have, probably you hear about, I think most people hear about, but you never know. Okay. So this is basically, let's go to start with the background of this. With the background or this, the history background. So you have an idea of what I'm talking about. Christopher Lee Watts and Shannan Catherine Watts, that you can see right here, both from North Carolina, met in 2010, and they got married in 2012. The couple had two daughters. Bella was the oldest daughter. She was just 4 years old. And Cece, that was just 3 years old when this crime was committed. Shannan, at the time of the murder, was just 15 weeks pregnant. And basically, Bella was 4 years old and Cece was just 3 years old. The day this murder was committed, Shannan returned from her job from a business trip from Arizona. She used to work for a multi-level company called Lever that, if I'm not incorrect, she used to sell like products to lose weight. And she came from that business trip and she was driving home by her friend, Nichole Atkinson. Later that day, the girls, Shannan and her two daughters, were reported missing when Shannan's friend, Nichole, became concerned because Shannan missed an appointment that she had that day with the obstetrician. And also, she basically was trying to text her. She sent Shannan multiple text messages, but Shannan never answered or never respond. So that made her concerned because it was very unusual for Shannan to not return the text message back. Once that happened, and later that day they have a business meeting, and she didn't went to the business meeting. She went to her house, Nichole. She knocked on the door, and after multiple times, nobody was opening the door, answering. She was not returning the text message. That's when she became extra concerned, and she called her husband, Chris Watts, who called Frederick Police Department. When Frederick Police Department went to the house, they found that Shannan's purse or bag was there, her cell phone, her wedding ring, her medications, things that when you go out with your daughters, you usually take with you. But everything was in the house. Now, what Chris Watts told at that time, it was that, yes, Shannan came back from the business trip around 2 or 2:30 a.m. That, and at 5, let me see, at 5:15 a.m., he left for work. And that was the last time that he saw her wife and her children, her wife and his children. Sorry, his wife and his children. When you go and you watch that video that you can see, that documentary is also in Netflix, you're gonna observe that the way he acts, it was very calm, at least the way I saw it. He didn't look nervous. He didn't look anxious. He has his glasses like there. He was wearing jeans, his t-shirt. He looked very well put together. So he didn't look like a man who had just killed his wife and his daughters. That's the way I would describe. We know that even when you have an argument with your kids, even a small argument, you feel bad. But this man had just killed, and we're gonna know that later, his wife, his 2 daughters, and he looked pretty normal. Now, like 2 or 3 days later, they called Chris Watts today. So they called him. This is the way he looked when, like I said, when they went to the police went to his house. Like I said, he looked normal. He looked well put. He didn't look nervous at all. That's the way I basically observing. He didn't look like a person who just did something so horrible and so inhumane. Now, once they took, he was called back to the police station and he said, yes, I suppose he thought he was a very good liar and he was gonna be able to pass the lie detector test. But when he took the lie detector test, he failed the test. He didn't pass that test. That's basically when the detective and the agent who performed that test, her name is Tammy Lee. And when they brought him, she said to him, you know what? You didn't pass that test. You need to tell us the truth. Something that, in my perspective, sorry if people get offended, I really think she did that wasn't the best, is that trying to get information from him, that I know police officers do that all the time. It was that she said, do you hear Shannan? Do you hear Shannan because she heard your children, your daughters? Did she did something to them? That's when the light bulb went into his mind and he said, let me run with that idea. That's good. And that's when he came with the idea that Shannan strangled her daughters. But let's go to continue. At the time, the only thing that he said to the detective and to Tammy, the investigative agent, was like, she was angry, she was upset, because Shannan, because basically that day when she came back from the trip, from the business trip, I told her that I didn't want to be with her, that there was no more, let me say this, like more connection between them. Basically, that he won a divorce. Okay? So that she got really, really angry. But at that time, he still didn't say that he killed her. That's when he got very nervous, very anxious. And then he says, please bring my dad. I'm very nervous, I'm very anxious. And they brought his dad. When they brought his father, that's when he basically said to his father, no, please, that he killed Shannan because Shannan had strangled their daughters. And he got so enraged that he strangled her and that he killed her. That's what he said at that time. Then the detective came back and they continue asking questions. And they asked him, please, we need to know where you put their bodies. That's when he said that he transported the bodies to a remote oil storage base leased by his employer, it's Anadarko Petroleum. And that's when he basically placed the deceased bodies. One thing that when you watch this man is the coldness. There's no emotion at all. They asking, can you point where you put them? And the way he said, like point his finger like, Bella is here. Cece is here. And can you show me? Yes, show me there. Ah, yes, Shannan is there. It was not just that he killed them. It's the way that he even, where he placed their bodies like they didn't mean nothing to him. And the way that he described with that cold demeanor what he did and where they were located. Incredible. From there, on August 16, the authorities were able to locate the bodies of August 16. The girl bodies were found in crude oil tanks, and Shannan was basically buried in a grave nearby. But let's going to continue. They describe that he needs to push his daughter bodies into an old tank that has a hatch of 8 inches. So you just know that after he killed them, is that he basically took their bodies and pushed them through that old tank. They described that Bella had scratches on her left bottom from being shoved down the hole, and a tuft of blonde hair was found on the edge of the hatches. It was so traumatic, even for one of the detectives or policemen who went there, that after he went there, he developed PTSD. But it was not traumatic for Chris Watts. Now, on August 21st of 2018, he was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, including an additional 1 count per child, cited as the death of a child who had not yet attained 12 years of age, and the unlawful termination of pregnancy because Shannan was pregnant, and 3 counts of tampering with a deceased human body. Other thing is that, and I forgot to say that I would say maybe 1 or 2 months before their death, Chris Watt basically was having an affair with other woman that he met at his job. And basically, at that time, and I'm going to explain in further details, he was planning basically to leave Shannan to get to live with this woman, with this new woman he had met. This case brought to the attention to something they call familicide or annihilation, in which basically one family member killed the other family members. Most of these crimes are committed by males. It doesn't mean that it cannot be perpetuated or committed by a female, but most cases are committed by a male. Most of them occur near, closer to or near August, when the school starts, or before the school starts, right there. But they say that most men, like I said, it could be also a woman who commit this type of crimes, kill themselves. So they don't have the strength to carry on after they do that. This man, no, this man was able to kill them, to work that day like nothing happened. When they called his employer to see if he noticed something strange in him, he said, I didn't notice absolutely nothing. He was normal. He was able to get dressed, to put his clothes, everything okay for him, like nothing happened. Now, on November 6th, he pleaded guilty, and the death penalty was not put forward by the district attorney on the request of Shannan's family, that they didn't wish for further death. That's what they said. Right now, he's in a maximum security prison where he spent called Dodge Correctional Institution, and basically he spent 23 hours locked every day, and he has 1 hour of free time. Now, let's go deeper, because that's what I think we need to go. Going over the videos, the way that Shannan looks, she looks very happy. Let me see if I can, okay. She used to record like Facebook Live videos, and she recorded absolutely everything. She looked extremely happy, but something that I want to always mention is that not everything that we watch on Facebook is the truth. Remember that most people, when they are recording this Facebook Live, is not real. That you are planning, okay, smile, look happy, everything. Why? Because people are not gonna show you the bad side. They're gonna try to show you the best side, not the bad one. We need to think that that's the first part. Now, when you watch, like I say, the videos, you can watch a beautiful family, a very handsome man, a very beautiful girl. You can watch their 2 beautiful daughters smiling all the time. Now, I think when as still I didn't grasp what happened here. But we need to go over what we call we know that there are two types of narcissistics. You have the narcissistic that is an extrovert that brags about everything. That's one type of narcissistic. And there's other one that we call them a vulnerable narcissistic. You know, the introvert narcissistic. The narcissistic that is not, let me see if, so you're gonna have hold on here. Let me see if we can. Let me share the screen. Hold on here. So let me show you something. Okay. We have two types of narcissistic. You're gonna have the outward narcissistic and inward. Okay. The outward is screaming, yelling. They have intense anger. They can harm others, and they rage in response to not getting attention. That's one type of narcissistic. The other type is what we call the inward, okay? They are passive aggressive. It's not like they are hitting the person, but still they are keeping that aggression deep inside, but it's there, okay? They have what we call hidden resentment. That means that they are angry, that they are accumulating all this anger towards you, even when they don't show it like our narcissistic will do. They have sarcastic jokes. It could be about your way, the way that you act, the way you behave, and they are entitled. But something that most narcissists do is that they profit. Hold on. Hold on here. They profit from other person. They benefit from other person, okay? And most, when you watch the videos from Chris Watts before, he was overweight. No obese, but overweight. And I think at the time that Shannan met him, he had some self-esteem issues. He was still a narcissistic, but he had self-esteem issues. He was overweight. She was, when I saw her, the way she acted, her story, she was a person who has a strong personality, very ambitious, to the point that she got a house when she was less than 30 years old, younger than 30 years old. She was, I would say, a dominant personality, a strong personality, slightly jealous, and the dominant one. That doesn't mean she was a bad mother or a bad person at all. I'm just saying that she had a strong personality. She was able to get a house when she was younger than 30 years old. She had a previous marriage that she reported it was abusive. And she was going through a bad time, especially with her health. When she met him, he was overweight. He was still, and I want to mention that, he was still a narcissistic. He knew maybe that at that time, I got married to Shannan. Shannan is a good position. She has maybe this strong personality, but she's gonna be able to get me in a better place because she was very persistent of getting her goals achieved. She was going through a battle, and at that time, he looked like an angel. Remember that narcissistics, not all narcissistics are gonna be the same. So I think when she met him, he was this introvert narcissistic. He can look like an angel because he was going through this battle with lupus. He's so awesome. He's so wonderful. And one thing that confused me at the start and when I watched all these videos was the way he looked. He looked normal. He looked happy. He was playing with the girls. But remember, these were record videos. Another thing is that narcissistics, while the things are going good for them and that's their plan, they can behave normally. Because at the time, it was convenient for him. Other thing, remember that when I go by the timeline, they were married. I think it just, that marriage was 6 years. 6 years long, or only 6 years. She had a girl, 4 years old, Bella. Cece was 3 years old. So the timeline and the length of the time, basically she got pregnant from the start of that relation when they got married. And when you have kids, you need people to stay together. They are dealing with small kids, all that. And that's what I think happened. He was this narcissistic, but more like the introvert type. He was overweight. He was not feeling the best about himself. And I'm gonna say that he was also raised by a narcissistic mother, Tracy. That when you watch the video, you're gonna be able to observe that this woman is a 100% a narcissistic mother. A strong will, everything needs to go her way. When she met Shannan, she hates Shannan, hate her. She didn't, when they got married, she was not there. Apparently, they were having fights continuously, Shannan and Tracy, all the time. So we have an introvert narcissistic, Chris Watts, her mother, 100% a narcissistic, and Shannan. That even when some people describe her as abusive, I don't think so. I think she has a strong personality. She was in love. She got married. She was maybe the one who was bringing the money to the house, even when he was working. And once he got better, he lose weight, he begins to live, basically to get fit and look better because he's a handsome man. That's when the other part of his narcissistic behavior came to the surface, the outward narcissistic. And all narcissistic are dangerous. It doesn't matter if they are introvert or extrovert. All narcissistics are dangerous. I was in a relation with a narcissistic person. And this person, at the start of my relation, I didn't know I was with a narcissistic. It took me years and years and years because most normal human beings have empathy. Most human beings, we are not prepared for a narcissistic person. We are not, even if you think so. So what I really think happened is that this man was building all this anger toward her. He was a narcissistic, and at the time they met, it was convenient to be married to her. What happened is that when he got better, when he was fitter, when he thinks he looked better, he want to discard her. He want to discard her. Narcissistic discard. Now he got his new narcissistic source, which was basically this new woman that we have here. And what happens is that when he met her, he wants a new life. I don't want this life. I already obtained from her what I want to. Now, that's when Shannan goes to him and says, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. Ah, let me record. We are so happy. We are a happy family. But when you watch the video, you notice that his reaction is not a happy reaction at all. At all. So maybe he felt like Shannan, like I say, who had a strong personality and was maybe struggling to keep that family together, because women know when something is happening. They know. But she was trying to keep going and going and going and going with this man. It didn't matter what. It didn't matter. And sometimes people think, if I get pregnant, we're gonna connect again because I'm having a pregnancy. 3 pregnancies in 6 years is a lot. But maybe she was trying to keep it together, to show this happy family. But we don't know what happened when the door closed. That she had a strong personality, it doesn't mean she didn't love him at all. But what happened is that once he met this woman, he says, no, I don't. And once she got pregnant, probably that made him even angrier and more resentment, because he says, now that I'm trying to get a new life, she gets pregnant. I don't want that. But like I say, Shannan was in some way a controlling person. That doesn't mean she's bad, only control issues, and trying to keep her family because nobody wants a divorce. Now, I think that when she came back home, all this rage, because I said, all narcissistics, it doesn't matter if they are inward or outward. When narcissistics, they have 2 things. They love you at one point, which I don't think they love you. I think they get profit from you at some time, and you think they love you. They are actors, and they play that role until it benefits them. Once that role is done, they don't want to do anything. They don't want to do anything to continue playing that role. They don't want to continue playing that role. What do you think he was going to do when she was recording videos? Of course, let me hold my children, I'm a good father. That doesn't mean he was not a narcissistic person at all. Because the way he killed his wife, he killed his daughter, that's a narcissistic person. Now, once she got from the business trip, she went to bed. He said that she tried to touch him. He didn't like it, probably. He had sex with her. And that's when he said, I don't want to be with you. I want a divorce. I want a new life. She got angry. And while she was sleeping, because he said that she didn't fight him, he strangled her and he killed her. Now, when Bella, the oldest daughter, came to the room, she asked him, what happened to my mom? And that's when he says, nothing, she's sick. He took Shannan's body into the car, into the truck, covered her with a blanket, and took these beautiful girls with him. Dude, I think at first, maybe he was at the beginning or at the start when he put them in the truck, he didn't think he was going to kill them. But I think because he also said that he drove 45 minutes to the oil station where he used to work. Things came to his head, to his sick mind, because like I was able to review and to evaluate. This man had that devil inside of him. That's the truth. And maybe at the beginning of when he was taking Shannan's body, he was going to discard her body off. But what happened is that maybe he thought, you know what? What happened if Bella? What happened if Cece said what they saw? All my plans are gonna will go down the drain. Maybe he was planning, I can have a new life. I can stay in that house. Let me tell you, I can bring my new woman to live with me and my daughters. But once he was traveling, that's when he thought maybe they're gonna tell. You never know. I cannot. What happened to me if they said that what they saw? And for me, that's when this man in the truck smothered Bella, asphyxiated her, and after that smothered Cece, which is so inhumane because I cannot imagine what these beautiful girls went through. Being scared, being afraid, you know that there's an anxious atmosphere in that car, and these men doing that to them. But after that, I thought that if they didn't catch him, he will be living his life with his new wife. I guarantee it. But now let's go to other factor that I was able to watch. His mother. Let me talk a little about his mother, Tracy Watts. Tracy Watts, which is basically, hold on. This woman, okay, I don't see her here, but okay. Tracy Watts was the mother of Chris Watts. She's also, hold on, a narcissistic. I can, and in some way, this is the interview that she had. We know that narcissists, they are the center of the earth, according to them. She raised this son that at the time was an introvert narcissistic. She has also a very strong personality. Like everything is about me. And like Chris took the genius idea from the detective that maybe Shannan killed her daughters, which is completely false. The mother keep that idea and she continues saying that Chris didn't do anything. That yes, he killed her, but I don't think he killed her. He killed her, but I don't think he killed his daughters at all. But there's a coldness in this woman who hates Shannan till this day. When they were in court, the day that they judged that basically he was declared guilty and they gave him his sentence, this woman didn't even say, I feel your pain to Shannan's family. I know that you are in pain. He didn't even, at that time, she didn't even mention her granddaughters. It was like for her now, because they say she hates Shannan from the first time. Maybe because Shannan has this strong personality. Shannan took trees. They were living in North Carolina to Colorado, where they used to live. And she went against her wishes. She wanted for her son to stay close to her. So she got angry. And she was angry all the time. And she hated Shannan all the time. And she told super bad about her. Super bad. With this day, even to this point, when a normal person with this tragedy will have some level of empathy. But she's not humble at all. At all. And she continues saying that he should get free. He should get free. Because at the end, it's all about them. And they would like to continue like standing or basically communicating the false concept that he killed Shannan because she tried to kill or she killed her daughters, which is false. But this is what when do I think he planned the crime? No. But he's a narcissistic. He was from the beginning an introvert narcissistic, but still a narcissistic. He just was basically that was growing inside of him. And once he got stronger, he looked better. That's when he became the extrovert type. But he was building anger to Shannan. She was the one who was bringing the money. Like I said, she was a little overwhelming in the way that she's the type of woman that you could see she has a strong personality. But that didn't make her a bad mother at all. She didn't deserve to die. Her daughters didn't deserve to die. But I would like to say for all of us, when you meet a person for the first time, look for their family pattern. Just watch how her mother behaved, how her mother or his father, it depends, woman or man, or a man, how they behave, how's their relation. Don't try to get attached to relations, because what is gonna last for you is gonna last. If it's gonna be forever, it's gonna be forever. If it's not gonna be forever, it doesn't matter what you do, that's not forever, and that's okay. Let go. Don't get so attached that you need to be here and with this man or with this woman because I don't want to get a divorce. No, get a divorce. It's better. Because nobody deserves to die in that inhumane and cruel way that this woman and her daughters were murdered. That was so inhumane. And like I say, give yourself time to know the person. Like I said in one of my previous videos, 2-3 years to know that person, to find things that maybe at first when you are so in love, you don't see. And don't get attached to a toxic relationship. Nobody will die because they are not with a person. You will continue living because narcissists always cause harm. Thanks for listening. Have a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.